Hello, I'm Janice McWilliams. I've been on staff for some 28 years. I'm also a licensed psychotherapist and a spiritual director. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about self-care during this time of the COVID-19 heightened anxiety and just social isolation. Because it's really a critical time to know, how do we take care of ourselves? Right now, what we're experiencing is really unique in a certain way. Now, it's not unique at all that we have to moderate kind of the stress hormone and the balance of the stress hormone with the happy bonding hormones in our life, in our normal everyday life. And we don't necessarily do a great job of that. Our stress hormone tends to be pretty high, and we don't necessarily have great boundaries about how to take care of ourselves in that way. I mean, some of us do, it varies, but the stress hormone in our lives tends to be pretty high. But in regular life, we tend to have a lot of ways that we can get our happy hormone also going as well. And that happens through things like gatherings with good friends, be it just for fun, going to the movies, going to a favorite restaurant, meeting for coffee, or also for worship gatherings, for small groups where we deeply connect, for times of prayer and worship that release the happy hormones that we need. And so what we have happening is really strange situation where our stress hormone is up even higher than normal, but our opportunities to get the happy hormone are like lower than normal, a lot lower than normal. What are some things that we can do to potentially address that? One is a daily or nearly daily practice of worship. Now, that could mean, pull out your instrument, play guitar. It could just mean play a worship song that's really touching you right now and focus on it. So I don't mean just have it in the background, like playing the music so you hear it in the background, but I mean actually really focused worship, and just a song or two. Even if in that worship time it's a touching song and you cry, crying has a benefit of releasing good hormone in our bodies. It shifts us from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic system, and it gives us a little chemical bath, and it gives us kind of that sense of, okay, now I can start anew. And so it's okay if you cry during that worship time. It's still probably going to be helpful to you. Another idea I have is just doing something to mark the hours of the day. We're in what I've heard Ruth Haley Barton talk about as a forced retreat. So we're having a retreat, but it's involuntary. But when any of us goes on a retreat for any length of time, it's helpful to have a structure, a spiritual structure to the retreat. The Book of Common Prayer has an app, and it's so easy to just open it up, and it's going to show you the morning, the noon, or the evening prayers for the day, and just to read through them. This can be another thing, I think, that it might release some happy hormones, but it definitely would have a function of kind of pulling our brain into a slower state of energy output, whereby helping this balance of stress hormone versus happy hormone. Now, everybody's been saying, like, connect with friends, make sure you're in touch with people, and I say yes to that. But what I want to say is connect better. So everyone's given the good advice to stay connected to your loved ones and to your friends from afar. Call old friends, have the Zoom times, have the Zoom game nights, and all that kind of stuff. But what I want to suggest is that in a lot of these one-on-ones that you have with people who happen to be brothers and sisters to you in the faith, that you pray for each other at the end. You're going to feel the bonding kind of relationship hormones kind of kick into play, and it's going to release oxytocin in your body, and you're going to feel better and more balanced with that stress hormone versus happy bonding hormone. A couple other things that I think can be really helpful are just silliness. So silliness, like watch the funny stuff, share the funny memes, like just get them going, get a meme contest going back and forth, or streak with some friends that make you laugh. Watch something funny. Do things that kind of release some silly energy. I know people that have little kids in the house, I'm saying, why don't you have a scheduled loud time? And I think that not only for the little kids in your house would it be helpful, but I think it's helpful otherwise.
Everyone needs to release their steam. Everyone needs to scream. Everyone needs to release their steam. Everyone needs to scream. You go first. You go first.
So do something kind of silly, loud, fun, and even if you don't feel with it, if you move into it with your will, I think you'll get there and you'll enjoy it and you'll get the happy hormones. Have a dance party every day in your house. Get your parents, get your siblings into it. Like, we're having a dance party, whether we feel like it or not, because we need oxytocin. So tell them I said so. If you're living alone or if you're not with people who are willing, well, get on a virtual situation so that you can have a dance party with someone else to get that going. So anyway, those are just a few ideas. I think that they're really helpful to help evening out that sense of imbalance inside when we just feel so dysregulated. It is a very real feeling because the hormones are out of balance. So I say bless you in this time. Do everything you can. I'm sure there are more ideas out there that I haven't thought of to put on your list as daily practices to help you make it through this time and to really thrive.